sometimes people ask the question, Guy, how can you go to such an awesome hobby shop and literally not walk out with at least something? And I definitely agree that if you take the time to drive all the way down to a hobby shop, such as a place like that called Hobby Quarters, you better make sure you carry or at least have a pocket full of cash or maybe a credit card that has like no limit on it. But that doesn't mean that every single time you go to a hobby store that you need to walk away with something. Sometimes it is good to kind of keep yourself away from that deep well. So anyway, today in RC Guy Garage, we didn't get sucked into the well. Anybody see my drive shaft? Alright, well, we got another YouTube super thanks to thank you for. I kind of feel like I don't like how YouTube's doing this. So JP Stewart, $2 super thanks. But guess what? I guess JP is Jeremy Stewart 1785. Thanks, man. I definitely appreciate that. This is an RC from MJX Hyper Go. They gave me that other truck. This one, which was an absolute blast. I shouldn't even say was. This truck right here is an absolute blast. The thing is awesome. For what this thing does and for the price point that this truck came in at, this thing is an absolute blast to drive around, and it doesn't hurt the wallet too much. Probably a similar situation or scenario with this thing right here. I think is coming in between 130 and 160 bucks. And I really think that's dependent upon where you're getting it from, is my assumption. So MJX Hyper Go isn't necessarily saying you got to go to a specific website to get this. It is a 1/14 scale, 4x4 with LEDs, steel gears, metal oil-filled shocks, and steel drive shafts. There's a little overlay sticker right there. Might have to peel that off. I don't know. Looking at the box itself, just the artwork on the box. Very aggressive tires. These look like oversized tires, but very aggressive tires. The shocks being red, everything kind of like doing that like EXB kind of thing. You know how there's a certain company out there that does like black vehicles with red highlights or accent colors? Yeah, this one kind of represents that kind of sort of. 14 plus ages, brushless. I think that's a 45 amp ESC receiver box up on the top here. Well, it might be nice to be able to mount my GPS there. If it's anything like this truck right here, this thing right here is going to be an absolute blast. 2.4 gigahertz radio control, paddle tires, and it comes with 2 bodies. I think this is more of like a truggy. If this is the way these tires are with the lettering on the sides, visual impactfulness is the way to go. We've got a brushless Super BL 2852 motor, and yes, 2 to 3S, 45 amp ESC, brushless ESC with a fan on top. This obviously does have a fan and a heatsink attached to it, and a powerful 2.2 kilogram something servo or something like that. I can't tell if that's Metal Gear. I'm just gonna assume that it is. I'm hoping. On this side of the box, you just got some Success Courier Madrid, made in China. Dude, everything's made in China, right? That's enough checking out the box art. So what do you get inside of this box right here? Well, we're gonna find out. My favorite knife here, CRKT Fossil. It's my fossil knife. My son got me this. Absolutely love this thing. All right, what we got here? Whoa. Doing kind of a little different it's upside down. So it looks like we've got a manual inside the box. So you've got a four-wheel drive user's manual, Hyper Go, 1/14 scale, RC high-speed car, English and Dutch. These manuals are good, especially something like this, because it's going to give just some basics that maybe younger individual might want to know if they're not familiar with how to do things. Looks like the wheelie bar is something that does need to be installed on there. Talks about installing the battery with the Velcro, and it looks like the wing also needs to be installed, and looks like 2 AA batteries in the bottom of the remote control or the transmitter. Does come with a USB charger. You just got to plug it into a brick. Does come with a battery. Shows you how to do that, putting the body on. But this is the most important thing right here is parts. They give you part numbers, they give you bearing numbers, little steering pivot ball numbers, like literally everything that this has to do with this RC is right here. I'm assuming what they do is they're not going to sell you like all the little spider gears. You would have to buy this complete differential as a unit. Why they're giving you that part number right there. But oil-filled metal shocks, yeah, the whole thing. brushless motor. You've got the heatsink with a fan on top, definitely pretty cool. And then talks about the steering assembly. So it gives you a breakdown of the individual parts with part numbers. And then right there, the servo, and shows you it's a countersunk screw. So yeah, there's just some good basics. An overall exploded view, I guess you call it. And they have the lines where all the screws go, showing you what all the screws or where all the screws go to each component. So there's another splayed version right there. And then here's the unit together with the shocks, and then it shows you the optional paddle tires that are supposed to be in this box. So, and then you've got your bodies. So yeah, spare parts. So there you go. Inside of this box is going to be the remote control and the batteries. Oh, what the heck is this? No way, dude. Check it out. So we've got the wing. Comes with spare springs. It looks like springs and hinge pins for the extra bag of A-arms. So you got uppers and lowers in this bag. There's a whole bunch in here. That is pretty slick, man. So extra springs. I wish there was another company kind of did that. Extra springs, hinge pins, screws, upper and lower arms. You got the wing that we got to put on. We've got a big chunky battery. That's a big chunky battery. So that is a 2000 milliamp 3S battery. So this thing came with a 3S battery. So we've got... Oh, what? No, seriously. So we've got the tools, the charger, bunch of body pins. It's got the shock towers front and rear, and spare body mounts. This thing is coming packed. And here's the little wheelie bar. All right, I don't see any paddle tires. So here's the remote. Oh, the remote's got a third channel. So off, 70, and 100. It comes with a steering trim and a throttle trim. And nothing else on here, but I wonder if that switch right there turns on and off the lights that are on the front. I believe this thing has. So a foam little grip, small little controller. It takes 2 AA batteries. There is a little screw you got to go ahead and pop out. So let's check this car out. Oh, so there is stuff. Oh, there is more stuff in here. So there's something in here. Oh, check it out. So you got 2 paddle tires. Wow, these tires are big. So you got 2 paddle tires on one side with washers. 2 paddle tires on the other side. Same thing with those little washers, kind of like how the Traxxas does it. And then here's the truck. Oh, that's pretty sharp, man. So the red has that kind of like anodized red look to it. That is a very, very sharp body. The truck itself has actually got some heft to it, man. Yeah, look at those tires. Oh, these things are going to be grippy. Very sticky, grippy tires, man. Those things are huge. Looks like we got some rebound. Oh. Body's really stuck on there. So it only comes with one body shell. Okay. Oh, no, it doesn't. It's the other one. It's cool. It does have skid. They both have skid plate protection on them. So you've got like this nice 4x4 off-road body, or you've got the hyper four-wheel drive 3S body. Both of these bodies are actually pretty nice looking. This definitely does look like that low-slung kind of truggy style. So this thing is, oh, it comes with 2 batteries. So not only does it come with the 1 battery that I thought was just in the bag, this thing came with 2 batteries. So I will say it's definitely packed in here. getting this battery in and out. Wow, getting that battery out, it's kind of rough. Alright, so the battery is going to have to kind of slip in that way. All these Velcro straps. Get the Velcro strap out of there. And you can see the battery is going to kind of slip in that way. So, yeah, it's definitely tight, but that's a good thing, man. And it looks like you can fit a bigger battery in there, too. So maybe if you had like a smaller, flatter pack, you've got at least a thumb space to kind of jam your thumb in there in between the battery and the servo. Dean's connector. These are nice Dean's connectors because they at least give you something to grip onto. Shock-wise, oil-filled shocks. So the arms, the upper arms, front and rear, are definitely different. Sometimes manufacturers like this will use the same arms, front and rear, which kind of makes sense. That way, part support is a lot easier because you literally just have one arm that flip-flops left to right, and then the same thing, you know, like Traxxas does. You got the upper arms, which are on all four corners. This truck is doing it a little bit different. Got a different geometry, I guess, between the front and rear. So inside of here is definitely going to be where the receiver is. You can see we got a little fan right here that's on a heat sink on top of that tiny little black motor. Come on, doesn't this literally look like it's that kind of like EXB kind of version of something? Definitely kind of has that look to it. It's got a nice tower-to-tower center brace, which looks like it locks into... Okay, so it locks into this front shock tower going through the body tower. Is that funny how to say that? It's actually two pieces. So this looks like it's split. Oh, I get it. Okay. All right. So it looks like this, which we can get a look at that right now. Kind of like the direction that this company's going here. All right, so it looks like, yeah, so it's kind of keyed in. Shock towers front and rear are different. Definitely an interesting way of going about how this is together. So those two things mount together, so this kind of like piggybacks on the back, and the center brace actually attaches right to the shock tower brace. I'm not sure how much I agree with that. Personally, I think I would like to see this center brace attached to something that's connected to the differentials, the top of the differentials. I think I would rather have seen that than it just literally going from tower to tower. And I get it, but I still think something should lock that down. But with this little car right here, it probably really doesn't matter. We're not talking about, you know, massive amounts of power and weight. We do have adjustable turnbuckles on the front. We don't need them on the rear, but look at these drive shafts, man. These rear axles are super huge. Universal rear drive shafts. Like literally, that is what you call a drive shaft, dude. That's a drive shaft all day long. Same thing in the front, same exact deal. Universals with drive shafts. No binding. Feels really good. I think we've got plastic hexes. Inside one of these bags, we've got some tools. Ah, look at that, a proper wheel wrench. So it's a good size wheel wrench, extended length, to be able to get inside and pop one of these wheels off. Pop this off. So we do have a plastic hex which doesn't really matter because a lot of companies use plastic hexes. Would have been nice to see metal, but you know what? In this, again, power and whatever, it's probably not necessary. The only thing I think I'm not liking is all of the hardware is Phillips. Yeah. Kind of not liking the fact that they went the Phillips route because, if I remember right, yeah, we've got all Phillips hardware on the bottom as well. If I remember right, no, this is also Phillips hardware. Huh. What RC recently did I see that it was all Hex hardware and not Phillips? Kind of not liking that direction that they're going. If you're wondering if the chassis are the same, the chassis are not the same. Definitely not the same. It is a different chassis. Definitely a different RC. So we're not basically just taking this, throwing different arms on it. It's definitely two different RCs. Maybe at this level it doesn't matter, but that is a negative when you come across an RC company like this that is really trying to make these positive steps, and they go ahead and make a negative step using that type of hardware. That's the difference, I guess, sometimes between true hobby grade, kind of, sort of, and kind of toy grade. MJX is known to be a good company, and I guess as long as you're careful with these Phillips screws, they might be all right, but yeah. At this point in time, literally everything, especially like something like this should be all Hex hardware. None of this Phillips stuff. Who even is Phillips? All right, so I'm gonna charge up these batteries. I'm gonna use my charger. I'm not gonna waste my time with this thing because this is probably like a 6-hour charger. Not really, it's probably gonna take a while, but it does depend upon the brick that you plug this into too. So if you plug it into, I think, a more powerful brick, maybe it's gonna charge faster. But do yourself a favor, you know, you're a younger individual or yourself, you're into RC or you really wanna get into it, you gotta get something that's a good charger. You kinda gotta not start there, but get yourself a good charger. I've got a couple chargers in mind. I got a couple chargers in mind. I might do another video. I do have another charger that was sent to me from GT Power. It's a cool charger, man. It's got like a lot of functions and features that I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to use. So anyways, RC Guy Garage, this was just a very quick unboxing. Just a very quick unboxing of the brand new Hyper Go. The heck is it? I ain't seen any part numbers on here. Wait a minute. Hyper Go V1.2. So I guess there was a version 1 and now it's a version 1.2, but oh, there we go. So number H14BM. So I guess this is the H14BM from Hyper Go. These vehicles, at least to me so far, they're pretty good, man. Question is though, is price point. Yes, it's brushless, but it's got a massive negative. Oh, does it have lights? Yeah, so it does have lights. So it just has lights in the front. So what do? Do you get something like this where part support may be kind of like an issue? Or do you get the Grom? So Arrma has come out with a Grom. It's a 1/18th scale or 1/16th scale, I forget. Alexa, what scale is the Arrma Grom?
From horizonhobby.com. That's roughly the size of a typical 1/5 scale RC car or truck.
Okay. So I guess the Grom is a 1/5 scale RC? No, it's wrong. I don't even know what the heck it is. Yo, I might have to ask the all-knowing Google. Hey Google, how much is the Arrma RC Grom? Why did I say how much? Should have said what size. It's a 1/18 scale. Whatever, guy. I don't even know what I'm doing here. So anyways, RC Guy Garage, like I said, that was just a quick unboxing of the MJX Hyper Go H1BM or bowel movement. H14BM. It's a 1/14 scale RC from Hyper Go. So I will leave a link in the description if this is something you absolutely have to have, but you know what? I would wait until we get like a confirmation on price, and then obviously maybe a couple run videos to see if this thing is any good. Do I know that this RC is going to be good? Do I know that this RC is going to be good? It's probably going to be fun. I will say, I'm looking at the thing. I'm looking at the thing. The thing's right here. It's probably going to be a fun RC. And that's just based upon experience with these companies like this, that they do give you an out-of-the-box experience. At times, you know, price-wise, it's not too bad, man. This thing is coming in at that 130 to, what did I say, 160 price range. When you see what this thing costs, that was 170 bucks, and that's brushed. Granted, this is a whole different kind of deal. This is number 1976 out of 5,000. That's one of the ones that I have not opened, and most likely I'm going to be offering that up for sale just because what I did was I bought a few of the 1970s, late 70s, and that was because I figured, okay, I've got them. I'll be able to sell them to maybe people that's their birth date. Because for me, I'm a 70s kid, so there's a certain amount of, I guess, what you call nostalgia. But anyways, whatever, I just get off on these tangents. Anyways, just keep an eye out for the run video, that'll be next.